What's up, guys? So another 64-ounce pour. I'm going to be doing a mural on the back of the 3-foot by 3-foot beach scene, using Total Boat High Performance 2-to-1 with a medium hardener. It's what I normally use. I love using it, and there's a bug on my bottle for some reason. So hopefully I squished him. But so that's the medium hardener. So my basic plan of action here is I'm going to mix 64 ounces in this. I'm going to fill it up to, on the 2-to-1, probably can't see it from there, but there's a 2-to-1 ratio here. I'm going to fill it up to the 4 here, and then with the resin, and then up to the 4 there with the hardener. So that's about 64 ounces. So that'll be clear. Then I'm going to pour 32 ounces, exactly half of that, into here, mixed with Midnight Blue. Then I'm going to do, what did I say I was going to do? 12 ounces here of Deep Blue Sea, Black Diamond Pigments. 12 ounces here of Cambridge Blue, also Black Diamond Pigments. And then I'm going to do, so 12 plus 12 is 24. I've got 8 ounces left. I'm doing 6 ounces here of pure Pearl White, Black Diamond Pigments. And then the other 2 ounces I'm going to do with this Castin Craft Opaque White. Now I've got this sitting here like this because I'm actually going to be pouring the pure Pearl White last. So basically the reason there's so much Midnight Blue is because I'm going to be covering about a third of the piece in Midnight Blue over here, and then a strip of Midnight Blue over here as well. So I need a whole bunch of that. And then I'm going to do Cambridge Blue here, Deep Blue Sea here, so it kind of is super dark up here, dark at the bottom, and it fades to the dark. But the reason is because this is going to represent the night sky, and when I lift this, I'm going to pour in the pure Pearl White here to represent the moon. So I'm going to set that back before I forget. Have this on there to keep it so the container doesn't float around. And then my intention is, after I pour my little moon here, I'm going to dip my fingers in it. Well, actually, let me backtrack a little bit. I'm going to pour my moon, and then I'm going to do a few stripes across, you know, almost like radiating from the moon to be the reflection on the water. Excuse me, voice crack. Reflection on the water to come across. The opaque white that I'm going to use, the Castin Craft Opaque White, is just to make a few little areas of waves. Just a little bit, not a ton. That's why I'm only using a little bit. I actually might even fill this up instead of just a 6. I might fill it up to 7 and just leave this at 1 ounce because I don't want to overdo it. And then with whatever's left in here, in the pure Pearl White, I'm going to dip my gloves in it, and I'm going to flick it into here, hopefully not getting it on my grandmother's table and chair and floor and things like that, but I'll try and aim it from a different angle, and that'll be stars in the sky. And since I'm doing that last, and this is such a big pour, maybe by then it'll have started almost to gel up and it won't be flowing as much, so I don't have to worry about, I don't have to worry about the stars kind of blending in with everything. I kind of want them to stand out. It might not work. I've never tried it before, as usual. So why not try everything on a YouTube video? I just realized you can't see my face because there's a lamp here and I'm tall, and this is an angle that is just kind of focused on the piece. That's all right. You don't need to see my face. I'm not that attractive. But so again, just to go over the game plan for you and for myself, 32 ounces of Midnight Blue. It's going to go here to represent the sky, and then here just to represent the darkest part of the water. Then 12 and 12, we're going to have Cambridge Blue to be just below the sky, and that'll be the color of the water at the horizon. Then Deep Blue Sea, which will be kind of the middle area between the Cambridge Blue and the Midnight Blue. And I'm going to fade them together. And I'm going to be using my makeshift serrated epoxy pusher, whatever you want to call it. I bought a flat one. They didn't have any serrated ones, so I just cut with scissors to make it serrated. It just works a lot better for doing flood coats. Now I'm not using their tabletop because this is the back. I'm not really worried about the whole self-leveling thing. I just like to do art pieces on the back of art pieces. But I just wanted to go over the whole thing with you. So midnight blue here and here, the 2 Cambridge blues. Then after that, I'm going to take this off, pour the pure pearl white, then kind of shimmy it away from the whole moon to make it look like a reflection on the water, flick some stars in there, and then do a few little bitty waves with the Castin Craft white. I just wanted there to be a differentiation between the two. Alright, so I'm going to move this stuff kind of off the piece. I'm going to wipe it down so I don't have any dust particles when I first begin. I've had the AC in my house off for about 2 hours now. All the fans are off. It's very warm, but you know, it's one of those things where first action to get rid of dust is to just stop all air movement. So hopefully we can minimize my tweezer time tonight. Alright, so I'm going to move this stuff off now. Give it a wipe down now that we know, everybody knows what's going on. Feel free, if you have any questions, to shoot me a message on Instagram, instagram.com/Cambridge Drive Inc. or on Facebook, facebook.com/Cambridge Drive Inc. And my nickname growing up was Butterfingers because I can't hold on to anything without dropping it, which was really great when I was an electrician in the Navy and would drop screws into equipment all the time. Alright. So I'm not doing any crazy tack cloth or anything. I'm literally just doing this because I already wiped it off before. And one other thing, I don't know if you can see it in the picture, I used blue tape, kind of tape off all the edges, so when it flows off, it'll flow onto the tape, and then in about an hour or so, I can just grab one of the corners and peel it all the way around, and it'll have a nice clean edge. But don't wait too long, because the tape will actually get stuck under there, and that'll be a pain in the ass later on. So, alright. So this should be clean. Like I said, I'm going to fill it up to 64 ounces. So using the 2-to-1, since it's total bow tie performance 2-to-1, I'm going to go to the number 4 on the 2 side with the resin, and then I'm going to fill the rest of the way to the next number 4 with the hardener. And I've got my super wobbly drill to mix everything together. Oh, before I forget, I want to preload all my powders into the buckets. That makes it way easier because I can just go from one to the next to the next to the next, and not have to worry about stirring everything up with a fork. It seriously makes life way easier. So this one I keep over here. That's strictly mix. This can go here. This one I'm going to have to mix with a fork because it's such a small cup, and I'm just putting a drop in there. Alright, let's see here. I'm a little messed up. Hold on. Don't want to screw anything up. Where is my little measuring spoon? Like, my wife hates me because I use all of our silverware drawer. Why would our measuring spoon be in the silverware drawer? No, that's the tiny one. I had a big one. Bigger. Oh well. Tiny one it is. Alright, so since I already opened this one, we'll go ahead and it's the lightest color too, so we'll start with the lightest color and work our way up. So dump that in there. A little extra just for fun. Alright. Oh, there you go. See, dust already. So that one's there. As you can tell, I'm super professional with all of this. Super. Alright, we got our Cambridge blue in there now. And definitely make sure you close all of these lids, because if you knock one of these over, you are going to have mica powder everywhere. Totally not speaking from experience. Going back to what I said before about my nickname, Butterfingers, yeah. A little more. Alright, so we've got 3 out of our 4 down. I'm going to the darkest color, and since it's going to be so much, I'm actually going to be really heavy-handed with this. And since this is so light, because if anybody was paying attention when I was doing my router sledding on here, this side got way thinner. I guess when I did the pour of the base layer, it was not even, so, or I should say, it was pretty thin over there and also really thin over here, so I don't know. I guess I'm just not good at this stuff. Yeah, let's really make that midnight blue. Midnight bluey. I'm not very conservative when it comes to the pigment powders. It's not like they're super expensive. I think one of these is only like $14 or $15 on Amazon. Sometimes Black Diamond Pigments even has sales, so it's pretty awesome. And then for Total Boat, don't forget to use code Cambridge for 20% off any Total Boat product. It's pretty awesome. And their customer service is phenomenal, so really can't go wrong. Alright, now before I start, I have this cup over here. Don't want to forget to put that there. I was wondering why that cup was there. Alright, wiping pigment everywhere. Alright, now for the real deal here. And basically when I mix all these things, other than the casting craft, like I said, I'm going to do that separately with a fork, an already used fork, because I ran out of plastic forks. I didn't realize that until 5 minutes ago. So I'm literally just going to stir up all the clear epoxy in here. I'm going to pour it into all these things to where, you know, the amounts that I said. I'm going to face the actual ounces towards me so I don't mess that up. Excuse me. Alright, and then when I actually mix the pigments, I'm going to start with the white because it's the lightest color. Then I'm going to, you know, kind of spin off a little bit, then go into the Cambridge blue, same thing all the way over. I'm not really worried about the lighter colors mixing with the dark, but I definitely don't want to put the midnight blue into the pearl white when it's supposed to represent the moon. That would kind of defeat the purpose. Alright, again, I'm going to point this towards me. Sorry guys, I want to be able to see so I measure properly. Hopefully I have enough resin in this bottle. I think I do. Make sure that's actually empty. Oh, something's on my finger. Oh, resin. Alright, here we go. Filling this all the way up to that number 4. Come on, baby. Come on. Right, good, almost, a little more. There we go. Alright. I've got my heat gun staged under the table. I use that to pop the bubbles and push some stuff around. I don't use a torch because it causes the epoxy to kind of cure prematurely on the surface, which actually traps the bubbles, so it's counterintuitive to me. And fill this up to the 4, and then we'll let the games begin. Alright. So we've done our 2-to-1 mix, Total Boat, high performance 2-to-1, using the medium hardener. Time to mix it up. I'm actually just going to come up to the camera and make sure it's still recording, because who knows how much space I had on my camera. Alright. Alright. Do it nice and slow at first. Make sure you get the layer of resin that poured in on top mixed thoroughly. I mean the layer of hardener that's on top mixed thoroughly with the layer of resin below it. I'm going to speed it up a bit. Make sure you rub the sides of the container and the bottom, so if there's anything hanging out on the sides there, it gets thoroughly mixed. You don't want any wet spots pouring onto your piece. So the problem with this method is that you wind up introducing a lot of bubbles, so you have to be very careful and make sure you're diligent about popping all the bubbles, or else you're going to have a not so great looking piece. It's always good to have a little lay down area where you can put this if you're mixing any other colors or if you plan on using this. I don't really care that the epoxy's dripping on here because I'm literally going to use it anyway. Alright, so I said I was filling this up just to 32. Alright, 32. I'm going to do a little 12 here. Alright. 12 here. Hopefully my math isn't off. Then for this one, I should be able to do. Oh man, getting close here. This is going to take up a little time here. Remember, the clock is ticking for this to start getting hot. So you want to make sure you're on that game. Alright, so now, I probably mixed enough. There's probably another ounce like left in here just swirled on the sides, but I don't really need a ton here. Like I said, I'm just mixing in a little bit to do just like a few little waves throughout the piece. But I don't want to waste too much time doing this because I still have to mix all these pigments, and those chemical reactions are happening, and they will generate heat, especially in that bucket on the left with all that volume. It kind of doesn't let the heat escape, so the exotherm will get really hot, and then you'll wind up with like partially cured stuff and just no good. So I'm just going to put like 2 drops, or squirts, I guess, because it doesn't come out in drops anymore for some reason. The Castin craft in there, kind of just give that a little, even though this color is very insignificant to the mix, I just figure I'll get it out of the way since I'm right here. Put that to the side. Now I'm going to go back to this, and I'm going to start with my lightest color first, the white. I should probably hold the cup. Alright, and jump over to the Cambridge blue. Spin some of that off. Jump over here to the deep blue sea. Oh yeah, that color just comes right out. I wish I had the camera here, man. Oh, that is incredibly satisfying to watch. Especially for this color specifically. Spin some of that off. And then into the big boy. I'm going to get a good mix on this because I did a ton of pigment in here, and it'll leave like little spots on the surface if you don't mix it well. Almost as if something landed in the piece. Alright. Spin some of that off here. Alright, so now I've got my whole lay down mat on here. I can just put that there, it'll be able to peel off later. Got to move all of these colors off, right? The moon can go over here, this color can go here. I don't want anything that I don't want epoxy to drip on to be on the lay down mat anymore, because it is going to drop off the sides. So I don't really care about the drill, the drill part, but the drill itself I don't really want to stick it to the mat. And I guess I'll save my wife's measuring spoon. She won't be too happy with me if I didn't. Alright, so starting with the midnight blue. Hopefully this goes as intended. Alright, so we've got this going. Definitely want a good layer here. Alright, kind of going to circle this whole thing. And then, like I said, I'm going to do, I used way too much on the other side by accident. You know, that happens. It's okay. Kind of want to keep this all over here though. Alright. And then I can spread this out a bit. But my mix isn't going as planned already because I kind of messed that up a bit. But it's alright, I'll work around it. In fact, if I have one more container, which of course it doesn't seem like I do, but this is the one from before, using the midnight blue. So I'll just pour a whole bunch off of this corner. And I need to be super careful because I moved my plastic sheeting. Good job, me. Alright. And where did that thing go? Here we go. Lots of extra epoxy. It's okay. So now I can save the day. Still not really enough to where I wanted it. It's okay. Pour here, and that should be okay. That should be plenty. Alright. So I've got these. I don't want these to heat up too much, so I definitely got to get this pour going. Alright. Yep, I can already feel these buckets are getting warm. So that's how you know you're kind of running out of time a little bit. Alright, where's my little spreader? There we go. Gonna let it drip off the edges here. Make sure you get complete coverage. This is how you would do a flood coat too. Like a real flood coat with tabletop epoxy. Alright. Sorry I'm not talking that much. kind of just focusing on this. Alright, that white is getting hot, I'm sure, so I gotta get over to that. Alright. There's my moon. I don't know where to really put this, so I'm just gonna put it down here. Got, thanks, babe. Got my moon. And I've got my So I just did my nighttime mural pour with my big moon, and I was probably recording for about 45 minutes, maybe closer to an hour, and I was talking the whole time to explain everything I was doing and stuff. Literally, the video stopped at 27 minutes, so the video stops when I finished pouring this and I started doing my little waves away from it. So if anybody has any questions on the YouTube video, if you watch it when it's up, about how I did anything, why I did anything like that, and if you want to hear all the lame stuff that I said, if I can remember it, and my wife was laughing at me because I'm talking to no one, feel free to ask, DM, leave a comment, subscribe to YouTube, whatever. My phone's vibrating because I keep getting messages. I just turned off airplane mode. But, yep, so next investment, GoPro. Not having this phone keep ending recordings on me. It's pretty annoying. But I hope you like this. I think it looks pretty sweet.